Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. All right, there we go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. This is your go-to podcast for insights on modern healthcare and wellness solutions. I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt, and tonight, I'm your host, and tonight we have an amazing episode lined up just for you. Before I tell you all about our next esteemed guest, I want to let you know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms. That's right, Dr. B TV, which is DOCTOR, the letter B as in boy, TV on YouTube. So please make sure to follow, like, share, tag. Most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Make sure it counts. Also, you can see us, Good Faith Wellness Center, on Instagram and Facebook alike. And talking about Good Faith Wellness Center, we have amazing plans. If you have insurance, great. We'd love to see you. If you don't have insurance, hey, sometimes even better. We'd still love to see you. $99 a month for individuals. That's for unlimited visits. Unlimited. That is lower than your cell phone, lower than a pair of Beyonce tickets or Bruno Mars if you're going to Essence Festival. So just make sure to come on down. We would love to see you. We treat all types of things. We've got 2 MDs, 1 chiropractor. So if you got chronic pain, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, need Ozempic, anything like that, we are the go-to place. Now, let's talk all about our next amazing guest, Miss Tameka Garrett. We're going to get right into it. You all know her. She's a hometown hero. She's back and forth to a couple different places, but you all know her. Born and raised, you know who her folks are, and she's got an amazing business background. She's got her own testimony. She's a CPR instructor, has her own company, and also a mental health advocate. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to it. Stand and cheer for the one, the only, Miss Tameka Garrett. Give it to her. Yeah. Good evening. How you doing?
Hey, I am well. How are you? I'm excited to be on your show. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I do not want to forget to tell you that.
Well, thank you so much. We're even happier that you're here with us tonight. And, can't wait to get right into it. We want to let you guys know that we are live. And so this is not just a program for talking heads. We're here for you. And we also want to hear from you. So I've got some prepared questions like we do each and every Tuesday. But hey, if you got a question for our guests, or even if you have anything for me, there's no question off limits. And on this platform, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Now, I didn't say anywhere else because there are some bad questions. But anyway, we'll get right to it. Tameka, tell us all about yourself. You know, we know where you're from, but let the audience, because there's some other viewers from other cities and states that may not know Tameka Garrett. So let us know. You have the floor. Tell us where you're from, what you're doing, what your passion is, and how you got into CPR and mental health and all that.
All that. Okay, so I wasn't born and raised in Mississippi. I was it's so interesting. I always like to say that I have the best of both worlds. My father is from
Okay.
Mississippi. My mom,
Oh, right.
you
Gotcha.
can hear me?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're right.
So my mom is from the West Coast, from Los Angeles. They happened to meet because my dad was in the service, and his sister was my mother's high school teacher. I'm not sure what subject, but said, "Hey, my brother's coming to town. He's in the service. I think you're a really nice lady or one young girl or whatever. You might want to meet him." So they met. Here I am, right? So again, I like to say that I have the best of both worlds because I know about the country life growing up, being in Farm Haven, right in Canton, where my grandparents' home was, and it still is there. They're just no longer with us, unfortunately. And then being in Jackson for years and years. And so that's where I'm from. I'm from California, and I'm from the South, being Mississippi. So you asked a loaded question. So let me get into the CPR first. Because of the stats being so high with what they are, um, one of my dearest friends, my best friends, knows that my background is HR ops and retail and restaurant. And she knows that I am so passionate about myself learning and teaching others as well. And I'm a stickler for processes and procedures. Like if the handbook says this is what we ought to do, right? So I was reading the stats about CPR a long time ago, and then my best friend, like I said, gave me this opportunity, and I'm like, wow, what are the odds? So I took a class with her. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I love when people have the aha moments, if you will. And just looking at the stats, like it's so important that typically, like everyday people, not just healthcare providers, are the first responders at that moment. And so it's critical that we get more and more people to learn how to do it, even if it's just the hands only. So that is why I got into that. And then as far as the mental health advocacy, I do volunteer and I'm a peer-to-peer counselor with NAMI, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And I
Okay.
do that because I have my own diagnosis. So it's not something that I read, although I do read about it. And it's not a movie that I saw. It's because I have my own experiences with it. And so that's how I got into the mental health advocacy. And I really do enjoy it. You know, I'm still learning a lot. The verbiage seems to change, but I know firsthand how it feels to feel like you're by yourself and
Hmm.
that you can't tell people you're okay all the time when you're really not. Like at some point, you've got to
Right.
face the mirror and say, hey, this isn't just, oh, that's how so and so is. Well, there's a reason why that person is behaving in such a manner. So that's why I got into that, to help as many people as I can with both saving lives, whether it's in CPR or it's in mental health.
So when you said you had your own personal experience, like you meant that like within your family or somebody who was affected by that, is that what you're referring to when you
Yeah,
said you?
so great question. It's me. So there are people in my family as well. And so I knew that there could be signs, you know, and for the longest time I would say, oh, that they would say, that's just how Mika is. You know, she goes from 0 to 60. And it got really scary when I got older because what happened was, if you want me to go into that, I mean,
Yeah.
there was a period of time where I have not sleep not so I was up for like literally 3 days in a row. And so you can imagine with the lack of sleep, there was some hallucination going on, and I couldn't tell the difference between what was real and what wasn't. And at that moment, my mom said, hey, we have got to go and get you some assistance. And because she held my hand, I went, I got evaluated, I faced, you know, what it is and said, hey, okay, these are the
Hmm.
things that I'm facing with. These are the things that I experienced. Some things I couldn't remember, but my sisters told me what I was doing. And so I was like, okay, this is a concern.
Right.
However, there is medication, there are professionals, there's things that I can do to thrive in spite of. And so I started doing those things. And so I want to just say this for those who experience anything, whether it's bipolar, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, whatever, go see your therapist even when you're feeling good. Because a lot of times I would not go when I was feeling good, but you really need to go no matter what. I'm done.
So you Latasha Almeida, CPR is a life skill that everyone should have. So I'll take that off. So you are you actually involved in the mental health part? So when you say mental health advocate, is that something that when you go and speak at other places, or do you teach any classes on that, like CPR, like you do the CPR?
Okay, so that's a great question. So I was on the advisory board for patients at Grady so that we could find out what was working, their programs and everything, but I'm no longer a part of that. And I speak with NAMI a lot, and sometimes people, because I am a speaker, and so people pay me to come and speak about mental health, the ins and outs, and, giving solutions and tips and things of that nature. So, yeah.
That's interesting. I think that mental health is, I think the mental health is so important, and a lot of people are suffering from that these days, and especially in the African American community, and don't want to talk about it, because it's something that is shamed in our community and things like that. So I think
Yeah.
that's amazing that because even my last guest, Matt Cuson, last week, and he's an amazing keyboard player, a musician to the stars, and he's unfortunately suffered from things himself. And he even told us on the show that he was in a mental institution, which I couldn't believe, because he's on stage with uh, Celine Dion and I mean, Brian McKnight. He toured with him for years, and the list goes on and on. But he said, hey guys, he wanted to share that he suffered and was even in an institution for a while, you
Well,
know.
I'm glad that he had the courage to share that. Like Latasha just put on here, it takes a lot of courage, and thank you for applauding me. And it absolutely does, because you don't know how if people are going to treat you different. You don't know how they're going to receive it. However, I don't worry about that, because I know that it helps me, one, with my healing journey, and it also helps other people, because as you mentioned, in the African American culture, there's a lot of hush hush, don't talk about that. We don't do this. We keep this inside of the home, which really does more harm than good sometimes. And so, but I was fortunate enough to have a very supportive family that was like, hey, this is, do you want to do this? Do you want to become an advocate? Even my father was like, once you do this, you can't take it back. Like, you can't backpedal. And I told him that, Dad, the culture in Jackson is, I'll get into that later, but it's something like I've never seen. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone and a circus all at the same time. So it kind of gave me the strength after a while to say, I don't care what people think, because I know how the struggle is for me, and the challenges are real. And if I could help a few people in doing that, then I believe that I've done my job. And so that
Absolutely.
is why I share as much as I possibly can about it, because you can thrive. Like you said, you didn't know that gentleman experienced anything.
Hmm.
You can live a healthy life. You just have to face things a little bit differently. And, I'm not a, I don't say, go, you can get medicine, but that's not the only solution, because you change your diet, walking helps. You have to find what works for you. And I tell people all the time, if you see a therapist and that's not a good jail, man, let them go. You go ahead and fire them and get you somebody else, because it takes time for you to, like, when you look for a husband or a wife, it takes time. Same thing with the counselor or therapist. You have to interview them and see if this is a good fit, and then choose the one that best fits your needs.
That's right. Absolutely. We're going. I'd like to go over a few of these comments I might have missed.
I'm glad people are on here. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. See, Wilson, this is awesome that your family spoke to you about getting help and you were open to it. And now you are helping others from personal experience and sharing your story. So that's big kudos. And then your good friend there, Latasha Almeida. Hello to Latasha and Pete. As you know, of course, you wanted to make sure that that we knew about what all the great things she's doing, in her the juice,
The
the
juice
juice
lady,
lady.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a letter after it. In the Tasha Juice Lady, is it WP?
Whole person healthy.
Whole person healthy.
WPH,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Juice Lady. Yeah, yeah. So she says that food, but thank you for joining. Food has an impact on mental health. That isn't talked about enough. Yeah, you're right. And the thing is, Tasha, that unfortunately, the South, especially when I say South, we're talking about the deep South. So we're talking Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and maybe even some parts of Carolina or Tennessee. You know, I'm from Florida, but Florida is like Florida's southern, but it's like not deep south, you know. But I think we make a lot of excuses, and I talk about this all the time, and we talk about, well, you know, everybody in my family's big boned, or we just do this, and we could. It's like, no, we have to stop making excuses because the food that impacts mental health, that impacts obesity, and now, unfortunately, Tameka, you know, now everybody's just saying, well, if I'm struggling with obesity or diabetes and all that, I'll just go and get Ozempic or Monjaro or something like that instead of doing the work and focusing
Yeah.
on long-term solutions.
Right, and that's a very good point. They were running to to get that, and then unfortunately for some people, they had some life altering complications because of that. That wasn't designed for that. And I think that a lot of times we want to take the easy way for certain things. People go and get cut here and snipped here and all that. And hey, to each its own, that's your choice. But I do want to get this weight off of me, but I'm going to do it without all of that. So, but again,
Right.
it's everyone's choice to do what they want to do. And I'm working with Latasha right now, trying to eat healthier and do that really makes a big difference, even in your brain. How it's wired, what you put into your body, whether it's food or beverage, makes a big difference. And as you're a doctor, so that's really important. And even for me, like when I lost weight before, the doctor would tell me, if you just walk 30 minutes up and down your street, you don't have
That's
to
right.
pay for a gym. You can walk around your house or your apartment. Just get the movement. And eventually you will be able to do more, to walk longer, and the weight will eventually come off. But before the weight comes off, pay attention to your thought process, how you feel. It's so amazing when you're walking outside or in nature that you could hear the birds, you can, see all the things and be reminded about, how good God is and just the things that we take for granted every single day. I did see a
Absolutely.
comment that I wanted to say something about. Queen Talicia said,
Queen Talisa, yeah, yeah.
yeah, about
Okay.
her son having asthma, and absolutely having asthma. And then with the summer coming up, the first thing I thought about was with CPR. There's so many people going to lakes, going to beaches, and even in the swimming pools. We have to make sure that our children, know how to swim.
Hmm.
Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know that.
we have to,
I know.
and
That's
then
why
we
you
teach
said.
that.
That's why you said the ha. Yeah.
Yeah, we teach that in CPR. They have new videos now for 2025, and one of the videos is about drowning, right? And so we have, as a culture, we should make sure that our young ones know how to swim. And asthma is very serious. It does run in our family. An asthma attack is one of the scariest things because you just don't know if you're going
Right.
to get that asthma pump fast enough, if your next breath going to be your last breath, and
That's
I'm
right.
in my 50s, so it's scary for me. And her son is 5 years old, so
Wow.
imagine you're a young kid and he has a dinosaur backpack with an EpiPen and asthma pump and medication. That's a lot for a
That's
young
a
kid.
yeah. That's a lot. Well, you know, and, Queen Talise, thank you so much for sharing. You know, sharing this with us and being transparent to talk about your family and your son. And one of the things, you know, when I first got to Mississippi from Florida, 13 and a half years ago, I can't even believe it's been that long. There was a church, Seventh Adventist church that I was visiting, which is how I grew up, and the New Heights. Went to New Heights SDA, and they were saying that a member had just died from asthma. And honestly, even in all my years in medicine, 20 years now, I had never come across anybody necessarily just dying from asthma. You know, you have older people with COPD, irreversible lung disease, but asthma affecting people of all ages and young people like that. So usually, like y'all are saying, you get, you know, you got the backpack, you got the inhalers, they got a nebulizer. People who have the allergies with it, you know, they have the EpiPen. So to hear that an adult person, you know, and it was like that, I had just moved, and I said, man, what is going on? And that really just showed me that we have to we've got to do better with the education. We've got to do better with the compliance, and we got to cut the excuses because the kids, unfortunately, that are like her son, 5 years old. Now he can't necessarily do anything. You know, he's born like that, and he's 5 years old. But when we become adults, when we can do something about it, when we can stop smoking cigarettes, when we can stop, doing heavy perfumes and colognes, stay away from irritants. You can't do anything about pollen, but other things. I don't know if this guy was a smoker who passed away, but I think he was in his 20s or early 30s, like younger than all of us. So anyway, that really touched me, man. Even talking about this subject. Um, she says, my son's pediatrician shared with me that the main people who die from asthma are black boys because people don't take their symptoms seriously. For me, that's what I'm saying. I hadn't even read that. That's what I'm talking about, man. So yeah, we have got to do better. And that's why we say here's a shameless plug for Good Faith Wellness Center, because most people's excuse, oh, I don't have insurance. Well, I wish if I really, once we get on the actual news station and all that, I'm gonna have them run the credits, $99 a month. I can't stop saying it. So if you don't have insurance, now you need insurance because to cover you with catastrophic and all that car accident going to the hospital. So this is not insurance. Let me be clear. But just to go to the doctor, I want to be clear now. But to go to the doctor to get your refills on nebulizers, asthma pumps, diabetes medicine like metformin, uh, insulin like Lantus and 70/30, all that stuff. We do all that. And for just an individual or a couple, like, or maybe mother and son or whatever, like in this case, 179, or a family of four, 229. That's unlimited visits per month. You have no excuse. So at Good Faith Wellness Center, we want to see you. We want to see you next week. All right. Tameka's transparency with her own mental health journey. So impactful. This lady, don't forget Louis. Oh, yeah, you're right, Latasha, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
All right, Tameka, anything you want to throw in before I go with my first question?
I'm not that I can think of, so hit me with the question.
The first question was, so what true? I think you covered this a little bit, and we had a few technical difficulties where I went out for a second. But what truly inspired you to become an entrepreneur and especially CPR instructor? But I'm gonna add my own caveat to that. Also, do you feel like what motivated you is because of the tremendous success of the Garrett family, your father, Mr. Socrates Garrett, and the name that he established in the community? Was that like? Do you feel like you were kind of a shoe in or a child prodigy, or tell us about that?
So definitely not a child prodigy.
Okay.
Um, I always worked for, well, when I went to school, then I decided to get into, a career. It was always retail and restaurant for me. I wanted to be an educator when I was younger. Like, I really liked teaching people and watching children grow. And then I realized in California, because this is where I was majority of my time, I was
Hmm.
like, they do not make enough money. They do not. I'm not going to be able to do that. But what can I do? What fields are out there that I could teach people, train, hire, do all of the things? And it was HR. So I got into that. Now, as far as being an entrepreneur, that didn't happen until my father started doing his succession planning in around 2011, somewhere around there. And my sister was the president of the company that we got, which is a construction and program management company. And so once we did that, then I said, okay. For me, really, then I had that episode that I told you guys about when I was up for 3 days. Then when I
Yeah.
healed from that and I got myself together, I realized that I'm a hands-on person. And I said, in order for me to be a part of a business that I own, right, I need to go and see how this works every single day. Because my background, none of my father's children, except my brother, we don't know, we're not into trucking. You know what I mean? We saw
Okay.
trucks all of our lives, but construction and trucking and those things, I needed to be there. So once I did that, then yeah, entrepreneurship was something that I thought about and thought, but what exactly do I want to do? Because it may not necessarily be that, but I can start my own thing. And so I did. I was so tired of hearing boots on the ground every day, and I was thinking, Lord, the guys are wonderful. We have one female truck driver at that time, but I'm running into some dynamic women in Jackson, Mississippi, and the metro areas And so I prayed about it, and I wanted to do something for them instead of stilettos on the pavement, excuse me, was birth. And it was really about finding a new way to network with people so that we could change the status quo of women not being able to get along. I wanted us to be in a space where we could network, we could get our praise on, we can encourage and truly support each other in business and life. And that's how my first business began as an entrepreneur, and I absolutely loved it.
So the stilettos on the pavement, is that's your creation?
That's me. God gave it to me, and that came about in the end of 2013. Yeah.
And what exactly is that? Because I would hear about it, and of course I don't think I knew you back then, of course, and then I didn't know what it was about, and so I'd love for you to help us to educate
So
us. You know,
yeah, so no worries. And you can always Google it. Just spell stilettos right, because when you don't do that, it kind of messes it up.
let's see. All right.
It was a way for exclusively for professional business women to come together, motivate, encourage, and support one another in life and in business. So it was I like small groups because I wanted to make sure that everyone was connected and no one felt like they didn't belong or they felt left out. So we would have these experiences once a quarter, and it would be no more than 50 people. We had food, we would play games, we would have all these different ways of connecting and building relationships with one another, hoping that they would be mutually beneficial and not one-sided. Because I saw enough of that, and I didn't want that to happen with the group of ladies that were coming. And so it got so big so fast. So thank you guys to all the people that supported that adventure at the time. Latasha being one of them. She came to the very first experience, and we've been connected ever since. It got
Wow.
so big that my mom said, maybe you should do a conference once a year where you allow more than 50 people to come in. And so we did that. It was the What If Stilettos on the Pavement What If conference. And it was phenomenal. It was absolutely more than I could have asked God. I was like, God did this for me, did this for the team, and did this for our city. And so it was amazing. It was about 150 women throughout that day that came, supported, and we had a wonderful time. Kimberly Campbell at that time was the keynote speaker, if you will, and
Okay.
that baby does not play. If you ever get a chance to go and hear her, please, by all means, purchase a ticket immediately. You won't regret it. She's a phenomenal speaker.
Kimberly Campbell.
Kimberly Campbell.
Where is she located?
Well, she's in Jackson or the surrounding areas. And I know I don't know what her title is. It's up there though. Might be director or executive director, and I can Google it in a minute of AARP out here.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, she's amazing.
That is, yeah, Latasha, yeah, she's your biggest supporter. He said it was phenomenal.
It was.
Yeah,
I mean, when I tell you, baby, it was every single thing. And I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, if you went to that and you thought that was amazing, watch what God's gonna do in October. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. But ladies, y'all want to be in the building in October.
the stilettos on the pavement in October.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm working with my my spiritual advisor. I don't know if it's going to be what it's going to be called exactly, but it's going to be a conference for men and women. So you're invited. Y'all just have to get y'all tickets ahead of time. For those who know, you can't purchase a ticket there. You have to get them ahead of time, and it will be Friday, October the 9th. That's all I know for sure right now, but you don't want to miss it. I promise you don't.
Friday, October.
Friday, October the 9th in it's either going to be in Jackson or it's going to be in Canton. Haven't decided yet.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and claim it. I probably even it's Friday. Let me see. Well, I'm just gonna claim that. Hopefully, I have to look at my calendar. Actually, I don't need to do that right now. October 9th.
October 9th. Oh, you need to be there, baby. You don't want to miss this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was just gonna say I'm claiming that I'll be there. It's so I'm supposed to be working during my hospital shifts, but it'll be in the evening or
Not sure about the time if we're going to do the morning or the evening.
okay,
Latasha and I and the team are still working on that.
Okay. Well, we'll work. We have plenty of time, so we'll
Yeah, we
work.
do.
Yeah,
We
we'll
have a
work
little
something
time.
out.
So while we're saying that, I will
Okay.
be looking for the speakers we're working on now. You'll have an opportunity to have a vendor table, such as yourself. You can promote your business, get more clients, all of the things.
Well, that sounds excellent. Yeah, we what we'll do is go ahead and commit to doing that, and
Well,
I mean,
look
hope
at
I'll do
God.
my best to be. Yeah, we'll go ahead and commit to doing that publicly here. I'll let my
Y'all hear
partner.
that, right? Y'all, somebody put that in the notes that he committed.
Yeah, Tasha gonna put it in there. Man. And then even I'll try to get Miss Conchetta, who's our go-to person at Good Faith Wellness Center, and we'll just say, hey, don't worry about it. If you want to close, if you don't want to come in today, that'll be your work for the day, to be at the Stilettos on the Pavement Friday, October 9th, Jackson or Canton, and to be there and show up and represent for Good Faith
I,
Wellness.
I so appreciate that. Somebody, Latasha or Queen, somebody put that in the notes. He's already committed, and I'm here for it. And I thank you because I
Absolutely.
need that. We need people to be there.
Yeah, we have to. We've got to support it, and that's another thing. Like I said, that's a whole nother clock that. No.
Oh
um,
yeah, that's definitely something else. Oh, somebody said clock that.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, we got to
C
see. Will
Wilson
see.
zero
Yeah.
two four.
Oh.
Yes.
um, but yeah, we got to support it. And you talked about the the kind of the mantra, or more, maybe more so your mission for that, with Stilettos on the Pavement, getting all these Black women that are entrepreneurs and business leaders together. And the crazy thing is, and we say this all the time, it's so hard to get so many of our people together. And for some reason, we're the only culture who just, it's like we preach these things, and there are people like you and I that get it, and we will support each other. And there's other people too, of course, Latasha, and other business owners, but so many like us, our people as a whole, it's like, we continue to talk about the crabs in the barrel, or not sharing each other's posts, not clicking like, we,
Talk.
I get tired of saying it, so I'm not going to go into my soapbox, but man, I don't know why it's so hard to do that. And I don't know if it'll ever change, but I know that even if just me, you, Latasha, and like-minded people on here, and their people, if we just, each one reach one, we can change the culture just one person at a time.
And that is honestly, Doc, that's how you have to look at it. So let me lean in. Let me lean in,
Go ahead,
right?
lean on into it.
Let me
Lean in.
lean in. Jackson, when I tell you my sister gets tired of me talking about Jackson, I live in Atlanta on the outskirts, and I
Mhm.
get the news from Jackson. Everything is Jackson, Jackson, Jackson. So I have so much love for this city. However, this is what I will say. Jackson is like a silo of, maybe silo is not the correct word, but I've never seen anything like this in my freaking life. So you have a group of people who are going to support you because they like you, right? And because they're benefiting from you, right? And because you're the who's who today. But the moment that they're not benefiting you from you, or you're not the who's who today, they are
Mhm.
going to leave you like drop your ass like a hot potato,
That's
right?
right.
And
That's
then
right.
they're going to go over here, and there will be no exit, there will be no explanation. They're just gone. So it's like then they'll use this person and they'll do the same thing to them. And eventually they come back to the same people over and over. What guilts me is that, and I learned, and I talked to my advisor about this today, to shut my mouth, to be
Yeah.
quiet,
That's what
because
your
I
advisor
don't,
said.
huh?
That's what your advisor said.
No,
To
I
you?
told my advisor that I'm
Oh,
learning
oh,
to shut my mouth and be quiet because loyalty and trust means something different from my younger sister and I, because we grew up in the streets of Los Angeles, which costs you your life. And out here, there's no real loyalty. It's wherever they go, they go. And I'm not talking about politics. Politics, yeah, they're with this person until
right.
they win. And then if they don't get what they need from this person, now they're over here. It's not just politics, it's in general. And
Mhm.
I wish that we would stop it. I wish that they would stop it. However, what I know is you can only control you. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
can only control me. So
That's
I'm
right.
just gonna, I was too trustworthy. My sister says, Mika, you live, when I didn't know, I didn't know. She says, you think everyone has a good heart because you do. You think because you're a connector that they mean well. And so just sit back and watch some things. And when I began to do that, I literally could have got in my car and ran some people over because y'all are full of yourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that so many times the Bible says, turn the cheek, don't quote me with the scriptures, but that don't mean let somebody slap the shit out of you back and forth. No.
Oh,
At some
hell
point,
no.
you have to put your foot down and say, hey, you can't talk to me like that, or don't treat me like that, or this. As adults, there is a way to communicate effectively in a healthy way when you don't see eye to eye. You don't have to stop talking to people. Just sit down like adults and have an uncomfortable conversation. And once you've expressed yourself, you've given them an opportunity to do the same thing, then let the chips fall where they may. The only thing that's eternal is if you get to go to heaven. Other than that,
Oh,
we are here for seasons and we don't know. I know I have to make the best out of my relationships and I hope they last. But I'm learning that when they don't, I got to be okay with telling them bye bye. Or if they tell me bye, okay, the time is over.
it's over.
And I'm
You're
going to
right.
be okay with that. But what I'm not going to do this time around is if you're not supporting me or what
Mhm.
I'm doing, don't come over here. Kick
Yeah.
rocks.
You know, yeah, right, exactly. And my barber, he says, there were some people, of course, everybody will remain nameless, but there's a popular person who does a certain business in Jackson. He's the same fraternity as my barber, and then there was one other person, um, and I said, hey, yeah, I can't say to because then people will know what. But I just asked him a question that whatever this product is, did you go? You didn't go through so and so, and they said, well, this person doesn't get a haircut from me. This person doesn't. So if he doesn't either get a haircut from me or send his sons or whoever or any female friend who might need line up or shave in the back, he doesn't spend any money and doesn't send me people to spend money. Then I'm not going to sow seeds and spend money with his business. And I told him, I said, man, that's a very simple concept, but I never, really, he was just like, I support people. Of course, we're black, we're African American. So yes, do I support people for that off top? Yes. But he said, if I have people that are either in my family or in my fraternity, and they know what I do, they know, and they only call on me when they're in a pinch or in an emergency. He said, no, I'm not doing that. And I was like, man, that makes a lot of sense. And that kind of changed a few things even for me. And then, Crystal and I always talk about, I don't know if she's watching on Instagram. Thank you for that, dear. And she always talks about being, it was some paraphrase, but it's not, you can't expect um, you out of other people, or in other words, the way that you treat
Can we do
people.
it?
Yeah, right. Is what you're doing. The clock, that thing. Is that what you were just doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to learn. It's this or this, one of them. But yeah,
As a man, I can't do it. But
no, you better not. Don't
yeah,
do it.
we won't do it. But
No, no, don't be no sassy man. Well, unless you want
what's
to,
that?
hey,
Yeah, Chris,
but
you
don't
let me
do
know
it.
uh, if I'm not getting it correct. But it was something, I'm paraphrasing, it was something like that. You can't, because she and other people who treat people a certain way, and I've even at my age now, I've had to learn that through what she was saying from her and other people, learning that, because I might think in my mind, and like I'm doing a good job, or I'm doing, but in their mind they're like, well, it's either still missing the mark, or no, I do feel like this is selfish, or I feel like this. And so it's like at all ages, it shows us that we can still be molded. We can still learn. And it's like you can't expect the version of you in other people. Like I say, y'all correct Crystal, somebody, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, and my mom is that way too. You're always doing things like she'll, at 84 years old, she'll do the funeral program. She was an English professor, so she's great with that as a PhD. And so she'll type up. She just did somebody's one of her dear friends in Tampa, Florida. Um, God bless her soul and her family. But she just did hers a couple of weeks ago, and she just does all this stuff for people for free. And not that she just needs any money, at her age, but I always told her, even as a kid, I said, man, hell no. I'm not doing nothing for free. You know what I mean? Because if these same people went to either people of another persuasion or they went to just anybody else who was a professional, had a business, they wouldn't have a problem paying them. So why is it that people call upon you and they want something for free? And I just said, I don't work for free. I ain't doing nothing for you for free. And I said, I wouldn't do it for them church folk for free. That's just me. And that's
Right.
also, like I said, I blame, if that sounds harsh, I blame my barber.
And it's not harsh at all. So this is what I will say, and it's absolutely your decision. I've done my free stuff. I volunteered as a candy stripe when I was in high school. We was
Hmm.
short lived because I wanted to get paid. And I've done so many things. I've sowed so many seeds. I've done all the things, and honestly, it was a great feeling because as a servant, like I like to serve other people. However, one day I asked my dad for, I think it was like $50 to get gas. And I said, can you let me borrow $50 till I get paid? And he was like, why are you in my office asking me for $50? Didn't you just have an event? I said, yeah. He said, well, you didn't get paid for that? I said, well, no, it's not about the money. He said, well, this is the thing. Then is that a business or a hobby? And I had to really think about that. And at the time, I had a good income. I was like doing it because I wanted to. It was a feel good kind of thing, and I wasn't charging nearly enough. It wasn't covering all the stuff, but it was a way for them to invest in themselves because I wasn't going to do it for them to come for free, right?
Right.
So that's the one thing. But I think that giving people things for free, when we do volunteer work, when we go feed the homeless or we go and speak to the youth, those things are great, right? It's a feel good moment. It's definitely necessary. And so that's wonderful. However, I will not be doing as many free things anymore. I won't be doing that because I learned at the end of the day, you still have to take care of yourself. And now I'm like, fast forward 10, 11 years older, I've got grown woman bills. And as my sister reminds me, our mom used to say, shit cost. And it does.
That's right.
Gas is almost
Absolutely.
$4 a gallon. So yeah, there's
Oh,
going to be a charge.
it's
There's
gonna,
going to be a
it's
charge
gonna
for
be
things,
a problem.
as it should be. As it should be. And I want to say this before we run out of time.
Okay.
Um, you mentioned that you were with, some people talking or what have you. There are some really great people. I experienced something amazing today. And so what we have to do is realize we cannot work with everybody. Everyone's idea of partnership and collaboration is not the same. So moving forward, Latasha's the one who's going to be writing our contracts. It will be written out. This is what we're doing. This is how it benefits you, me, date, signatures.
Mhm.
Because, and she made a comment, there's a real lack of reciprocity in our community, which there
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely.
However, there's also some really dope people,
Yes.
like some people who get it, who just get it. And I was with them, some of them, this past Sunday at the Respect Your Black Dollars general meeting. And you just got to roll with those people. And really, we can't worry about all of them. Just like you can't worry about the naysayers because what God and the universe has for you is for you and can't nobody do nothing about it
Amen.
except you. Unless you sit on what you're supposed to do and not be obedient, then you done messed it up yourself. But
Yeah.
it's nothing that nobody could do. So I want us all and everybody that's on here, go and be great. Start your business, write your book, do your thing. Because God wants you to have it in an abundance. And anybody who
Yes.
stops you or tries to block you, don't let them. You cannot, them naysayers and people who ain't doing nothing, they're gonna be doing nothing in 4 or 5 years. But if
That's
they're
right.
ready to go after their goals and their visions and make things happen, then rock with them and welcome them. I welcome people to stilettos as long as you come in this space. When we did it, the requirement was you pay in advance and you have an open mind. And I even said if you don't have a good time, I guaranteed them the first 2 times they would get their money back. But if your energy was funk and you couldn't receive all this good stuff that was happening there, I would tap you on your shoulder, give you your money back, and walk you to the door.
Really, you would escort them out.
Oh, it's time for you to go, baby. Because that energy is
Wow.
funk. And you can't
Wow.
receive, some people are not ready
Well,
for things that happen in that space. And when they're ready, they can come back. But when you can't mess it up for everybody else, it's 50 women in here. And if it's one person who is messing up the whole energy, she got to go. Some of the
Oh,
things when I said we have a special guest, I would open the door and let God walk right on in here. Let's open it up. Whoever your higher being is, we're
mhm.
opening up the door, and this is going to be a wonderful experience. One you're going to talk about for the longest time.
That's
And
a
they
special.
did. And then the next thing I know, tooted my own horn, there was brunches and empowerment and all kind of shit.
Wow.
Every time I turned around, another lady was having something. And at first I was like, well, dang. But you know what? Hey, I didn't invent brunches. I didn't invent empowerment things. So if I encourage somebody to do it, wasn't that the purpose in the first place? For the women to come and support and uplift each other,
That's
and we
right.
just encouraged her to do something else. I did my job.
You
Glory
know,
be to God. Let her go be great.
glory to God. That's I'm glad you brought that up, like I said. Then I'm going to get to a few of these comments and maybe one other question before we
Okay.
get out of here. But yeah, I want to go ahead and salute right now, publicly, because this young man has been putting us out there and giving us big, huge shout outs to even to the point in the Atlanta airport. There were two people, the folk pushing my mom's wheelchair, some lady in line even recognized me because of this guy shouting us out. And I'm talking about the cake king himself, Jeremy Jones. And one of the things, the reason why shouting him out, not just because we've become pretty darn cool, become friends. And I can also say publicly, since he really put it out there, that I'm his, because of course I wasn't telling people that, but we've been taking care of him and his team for a while now. So, of course I'm publicly, I'm professional, I'm his doctor. And we just appreciate the opportunity to work with these great people. That guy, man, look, love it or hate it, and he's got his way of doing things. But, you know, that's one person that not only this brother shouting people out, always bigging up other people's but man, this guy we're not just talking about the other businesses and just going online and doing something. He told there are people in that same bakery. He said who he even allows to use his equipment. Those Monday was it Monday and Tuesday they were closed. I think he's changing schedule, but they're closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever it was. On those days, a couple of them got a key to the building. He allows them to use his kitchen for free to sell their own wares, and the people come and pick up the cakes and sweets or whatever it is that they do on the side, even from his place while those people are working. That's
Yeah.
somebody who's not just walking the walk, that's talking the talk, man. So we just wanted to big up to the Sprinkle Me by Cake King business and franchise, and Jeremy Jones as well.
Yeah, I have bought before he became the cake king when he was here in Jackson. I've bought a lot of cakes. One cake, my dad wouldn't even let us cut his birthday party because he was like, "No, I'm gonna
Really?
take this one with me." It was like he's a Kappa, so it had the tie with the Kappa, all the things on it. He wouldn't even let
Wait a
people
minute.
cut the
I'm,
cake.
I'm, hold on. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Who? Your father's a Kappa?
Yeah, he is. Don't say nothing. Let's not argue on the show. Sit on down.
The queen there.
Yeah, so shout out to K
Yeah,
King.
good.
And I read something, I think it was today because my days run together sometimes. But he said so shout out to him and Sunshine, right? Raven.
Absolutely.
And
And Sunshine Raven.
right, he's going to start doing, and I've been waiting on this. I've been praying for him to do it. And I was like, look at God. He's actually
Marketing.
going to be doing classes and everything now about,
He is.
being an brand ambassador and how
That's
to do
right.
your business. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I hope he takes the time for a full recovery. I understand he wasn't feeling his best the
That's
last
right.
couple of days, only from what I saw on social media, but I hope he
Mhm.
takes the time to heal properly, and I wish him much success at his new location.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's all about community, like for real, for real.
Seriously, yeah, man. He is feeling. Thank you for that. For the prayer, he's doing a lot better. So
Good,
we
good,
can say
good.
that. Shout out to Keisha Newell, who's always there supporting us at our other venture. And I know it's a health show, so of course we won't let's say too much about it, uh, but well, we can say because it's not just about the Cigar Thursday, it's the title of it. But most people are certainly not even smoking cigars, but it's more of kind of like sort of what you described with what you're doing, networking. Um, everyone is welcome, men, women of all ages and backgrounds, and there's no specific. People come there in their uniforms from work, blue collar folks, mechanics, whoever, all the way to the doctors
That's
and the
right.
CEOs and business women and whoever it is, and everybody is all sitting around networking and mingling. We see a lot of the same faces, but every Thursday we do see some new faces, and we're just so happy that people can come and feel safe in a great environment. So that's every Thursday at Trio Downtown Cigar Thursday from 6 o'clock to 10:30. So I thought about that because our son Keisha knew who's one of our
Oh yeah,
biggest.
it's a good grown time. I have a good
Yeah,
time.
and thank you for coming. When you're in town, you definitely come and bless us with your presence. So
Oh
we
yeah, I
appreciate.
have a good time. I'm glad you guys are doing it.
Yep, that's right. Hello to Jasmine Taylor. There's a real life recipe. Okay, I'm getting caught up on these. You said a mouthful. I had to experience that recently. My heart always led me to doing things for less than my worth. Yeah. So
Wait a
yeah.
minute, read that again. I'm sorry, read that one again.
All right. Let's put that on the screen. Jasmine Taylor, who she's uh, been there a couple of times to support us at Trio Cigar Thursday. You said a mouthful. I had to experience that recently. My heart always led me to doing things for less than my worth.
Yeah, we've all done that, unfortunately,
We've all
but
done.
we do learn. Yeah, we do learn.
Yep, that's that is the important part. There's Dr. Latanya Ware. Big shout out to Dr. Ware.
Hey,
Yeah, put the name of I don't know if is it Ware Dental or I forget the name. Please put it in the chat. The name of your dental practice, and she is the sister to my frat brother, my chapter brother there, Dr. Terrence Ware. We call him T Ware affectionately for Alpha Phi Alpha Sigma Sigma Lambda. And yeah, but we black and gold is the only way we roll. No disrespect to Mr. Garrett, but
none second.
it's the only
Black
way.
and gold, the way we roll. I
That's
love
it.
it.
That's it. Um, let's see here. Where can we? Okay, my mom, Lily James, is late, but all right, my mom's is on there. So, but look, we're just glad you're here, Mom. 84 years old. We're just glad you're here.
Wow, that's awesome. Shout out to moms.
Shout out to Mom. Let's give it to her. And let's see. Keisha says, great question. Where, and I guess and when, can we take your CPR class?
Oh snap, that's a great question.
Yeah, right.
So I teach classes here when I come to town, and I am certified with American Heart Association and American Red Cross. You can contact me, and I can tell you when the next classes are going to be. And I teach them at a location that I have here and in Stonecrest, Georgia. I also travel. Like I will go to not everyone's home because you have to be cautious about that. But definitely, if there's a business, an organization, I will travel to teach them. So just DM me. It's Tameka Garrett. And I'll let you know when the classes are going to be because I'm working on the schedule right now, which is why I can't answer that. But I do know for those working in retail and like fast food, my friend who owns Eddie's Soul Food is going to have one for the people that work in restaurant and retail in July, which I think is super dope. It's going to be first aid, AED, and CPR because they need to know it. They're working around
That's
people
right.
every single day. People cut their fingers. Some people are choking. And so it's important that their staffs know that. Great question,
Absolutely.
and thank you for
Good.
asking.
Great question. The PPR is so vital, and that was going to be one of my questions. I see. Thank you for joining us, nurse practitioner Letha Martin, who is going to become Dr. Martin very soon. Please let us know if you want anybody. I don't. Now we can't. Now look, we can't be doing no GoFundmes and dropping cash apps in there. But if you want to if there's anything that you want to say about talking about nurse practitioner Shalitha Martin, if you want to put anything about what you're doing as well, or where people can come see you, where you're um, practicing now. I know that you're outside of Jackson, but
Awesome.
if there's if you're taking new patients, feel free to drop that in the chat as well. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Um, One other question, though, we just got a couple more minutes. If I can get in a couple, because we've had such great audience participation
This
You know,
is
I had
really
seen
beautiful,
yeah,
right?
after
And I
one,
didn't even
yeah,
know
when you
how to
had
share this. So I'm going to share this after. So please forgive me. I didn't know how to share it, but I'll
okay,
share it on my page and stuff after the fact. So what's
okay,
another
no problem.
question or
Yeah,
comment?
no problem. I'll give it like soon as it's generated. We'll send you the link and you can
Sounds
put
good.
it out there.
Okay.
One of the questions we didn't get to was why do you feel that CPR training is so important and paramount for everybody to know?
Okay, that's a good one. Because you never know, like, we're not just healthcare professionals, but we go shopping, we go to baseball games. It's just a matter of like every second counts. If you know the basics, you can't, you, like I said, at that moment, you're the first responder, right? You're going to be able to assist in saving a life until the professionals arrive. So it's, and I don't want to misquote the stats, but if you look at how many people need CPR on a daily basis, like the numbers are alarming. So the more people that know it, the better it is, because you don't know when you're going to need help. You know, somebody might save your life. When you want them to know, in a group of five, you at least need two people who knows what to do, who knows how to about compressions, how to do breaths, how to work an AED, even what an AED is. When I tell students, look at the people that are around you if in a life altering situation, because if you say someone call 911 and someone get an AED, well, if they don't know what that is, they can't get it.
No,
But if
that's
you
right.
say defibrillator, maybe they'll understand that word better. So I think, to answer the question, is because we want to save as many lives as we possibly can, knowing that every second counts. And if you were down and you needed some help, you would want somebody to be able to help you as well, instead of nobody knows what to do.
Yeah, people said, "Oh Lord Jesus," and then you got the lady in the back, the old lady with the wig on, and her wig is sliding back on her
Twist.
head, slid back in her wheelchair, and oh Lord Jesus, and somebody else passing out and all this kind of stuff. Um, I know that's funny, but look, but I know that's kind of humorous, but look, I tell people now, thank God it didn't happen today on the as we travel, but look, there have been at least three flights that I've been on over the years, and I'm talking the last 8 years or so. Three times people have gone out. One time was a woman who was pregnant. I said, "Oh no!" I said, "Oh hell no, you don't." First of all, you shouldn't have been flying. You should have more sense to know. But since you had to get your behind on this plane, that keep your legs closed, take some deep breaths. We're not. No baby is coming out on this plane. I told her that you keep your legs closed for one. All right, we're not doing this today. All right, we got license for this to be delivering in the Mile High Club. Come on, somebody.
Now that's a different thing. Mile High Club is different, isn't it?
It's different. So that was almost a near kind of, emergency. But that, I mean, that's not requiring CPR. But I'm just saying, you never know what things happen. But there were two other cases where somebody went completely out cold. They were doing CPR, and I said, "Oh Lord!" And then another time was when somebody was more so just dehydrated. They were diabetic. They worked overnight, stressed out. So she didn't actually lose her pulse. But it's like in these situations, thank God, usually there is a nurse or a doctor or somebody in healthcare, some healthcare professional, like you said that. And I believe the flight attendants know how to do. I think they have to know how to do basic CPR. I think they do. But man,
If
that's
they
important.
don't, they should. If that's a good one. I need to write that down and find out, because if they don't, they definitely should need to know
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm telling you. Nurse practitioner Shalita Martin, a doctor and a nurse, just delivered a baby on a flight yesterday. No, ma'am. See, there are
Oh
certain things
wow!
that we rebuke. Well, thank you. I'm so glad that, amen, that the baby, I'm imagining is fine. Thank God that they were
And
there.
the mother,
But
yeah.
no, we rebuke in the name of Jesus that any of that on our return flight will happen. We rebuke all manner of evil. We right now are touch and agree and all of that, that this will
What
not
person agree?
happen. No, no, ma'am. So, but yeah,
Not
you have.
touch and agree.
Oh no, no, we're two are gathered. Come on, somebody.
Right in the midst
But,
of.
but no, but yeah, back to the serious point. But this is something that everybody needs to know, and you wouldn't even know. They're even doing. Crystal and I talked about even with the corporation, their corporation, they're doing CPR, and even you wouldn't even think a big corporation that does nothing related to necessarily nothing healthcare. directly relate, but they make products. But anyway, they are even having people on every floor needing people to be certified, even to work in these corporate buildings, because people can go out and pass out, at any time. You see it at concerts. People gonna be at Essence Festival. I mean, it happens anytime somebody gets hot or they vagal, their heart rate goes down. They get lightheaded, pass out. People pass out on the toilet trying to bear down. It was what we call a vagal response. All kinds they go into atrial fibrillation, the heart rate goes kind of, it's irregular, all kind of reason that people just go out. And somebody around there needs to not just say, oh Lord, and we don't need that person to go out. Now we got two people on the floor. Somebody got to have the sense and skill to help. So
Right. And so when you guys get ready, I am the instructor that you want. I'm telling you. So I'm very interactive. It's not just, hey, and I teach people how they learn. Everyone doesn't learn the same way. So my classes are very interactive. It's one-on-one sometimes, and sometimes it's in groups. CPR is so important. I get recertified every year because at times and work with children or the elderly. Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's really good.
that
And
is
there are some places that I've taught. There's a mental health facility that they require their staff gets it certification every year, although their certification is valid for 2 years.
absolutely. And last shout out, I see MT ranking on there. Shout out there to ISI, Elite Fitness, that is getting us where we need to be. So shout out to
Awesome.
MT ranking on that's his screen name or his handle, but that's Martinez, who was playing with the Kansas City Chiefs for a few years. Man, big shout out to him. Young man doing amazing things in the community. He's got his own franchise, and so if you don't have a gym or you are looking at something, you need to check out Elite Fitness, ISI Fitness. To go there, they got a new promotion. I got in on the $49 promotion some months ago, but I think it's $67 now. And it is an investment. It's not a $20 Planet, nothing against Planet Fitness, but it's not a $9 or $20 Planet Fitness. It is an investment, I'll say, per month. But if you are serious about getting in shape and you want to, like we said, change things for the long term, then aerobic exercise, cardiac exercise, and things like that, going to a place like Elite Fitness ISI in Flowood is what you want. But of course, they are a franchise. They have places even here in Orlando, which we'll be going there. So I want to give you
And
the.
that's wonderful. And their fitness instructors have to have certifications too. So just,
That's right.
give me a ring a ding, call me.
All right. So you heard, Martin. If you're still on, I can't really tell because it's kind of going in and out on our on the Instagram side. But I see we've got several new viewers there. But I saw his name come up that he had joined. So if you're still on there, uh, she's your girl, Tameka Garrett.
Yeah,
Uh,
Tameka Garrett.
That's right. Well, look, I know that it's uh, 8:05, well, 8:05 Central, 9:05 here. So, look, I want to give you the floor the last couple of minutes, and then I'll close for you to say, hey, to let everyone again who just might have joined, who you are, where you're located, how they can reach you, if you're accepting new clients, and whatever else you want them to know, and then I'll close out right after you.
All right. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm always accepting new clients in the travel business, new students, in CPR. Always looking for opportunities to come and speak, whether it's on mental health and wellness or empowering professional business women, right? So my name is Tameka Garrett. Again, I am the founder and visionary for Stilettos on the Pavement. Like I said, I'm an advocate for mental health because of my own experiences and my own diagnosis. God has just really, really blessed me with plenty of gifts. I'm trying to figure out where my grace is now and where my gifts are so that I could be aligned with what He wants me to be and become. And so to reach me, you can reach me on Facebook. My name is Tameka Garrett in real life. That's what it is on Facebook. My cell phone number is, here we go. Don't call me for no foolishness, please. 404-915-8626. And you can email me at tgarrett, that's with 2 R's and 2 T's. It's tgarrett, the number 51 at outlook.com. I think that's a great way to get a hold of me. Yeah, that will do it.
Boom. We got you. So everybody, if you need anything, or if you feel sickly, or somebody pass out, or a lady at the church wig is crooked and sliding off her head at church, call 404-915-5626 because
Wait, no,
she's
no.
on call.
That's not my number, I don't think.
You
Okay,
four
yeah,
zero
so there it
four.
is. It's 404-915-8626. I thought you
Yeah,
said something else. My
yeah,
bad.
that's what we get. Oh no,
Right.
we want them to call you.
Yeah,
Okay.
call me. And so what I will do too is school's going to get out pretty soon. And so it's important that, especially those who do sports, it's important that our teenagers, when I come back to Jackson in May, what I can do is a community event. It's not a certification, but it gives them a certificate for friends and family to learn the basic CPR. Our teenagers need to know that so they can assist their friends while they're out hanging out, because you just never know.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Well, I think that'll do it. I know you're a busy woman, so we'll let you. I usually try to, but it's a little later than usual, and I'm in a different time zone, so we'll let you go. But let's catch up very soon, Tameka, and let's give it up for our amazing guests, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another amazing episode of Telehealth Tuesday. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the amazing engagement with us. So, next week, we're going to have another truly inspiring guest. You won't know who it is unless you sign up for Dr. B TV. Again, that's DOCTOR, the letter B TV. And make sure to follow, like, share, tag, and most importantly, subscribe so that you won't miss a beat. And you'll see who we're going to have next. Also, we talked about Instagram. We talked about Tameka Garrett's page, CPR instructor, mental health advocate, and also people who do have insurance. There was somebody from Florida, my hometown, or from Orlando originally. There was somebody from Florida who said, I have insurance. So if you have insurance, that's great. We'd love to see you. If you don't have insurance, we still love to see you because we've got plans. $99 a month, unlimited visits, $99 a month for individual, $179 for two, and
That's
229.
amazing.
That's, yeah, 229 for a family of four. And it's even, that's called direct primary care, not concierge medicine, but direct primary care is done in different places. There's even a couple that are in Mississippi I know of, but they're definitely more expensive than that, trust me. So come on down if you got chronic conditions, or if you just a healthy person and just need an annual. We have our own laboratory. We can do labs there. And if you have back pain and all that, and we've got a chiropractor who's amazing, and she'll take good care of you. So we'll see you next Tuesday, always on a Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. This is the place where we treat mind, body, and soul. And remember, and always remember, that true wealth begins with good health. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health.